Audible. So it's actually great to have a presentation exactly after your presentation. Thank you for the very, very nice insight if how the, let's say, ad space is actually working. We are not in the AI space as a company, and actually the whole this industry, let's say we are maybe one of the parts of the infrastructure for the ads. And what you said about the AI and usage of the AI is actually very much in line with what we see on the market as well. Let me just get here. Yeah. So from what I learned from this previous presentation is that there is a lot of ways how to find segments of the customers, how to target those customers, how to expose ads to them. But I didn't hear one part of it, which is, I guess, very important for most of the people here in this room. And this is some kind of conversational type of, not just advertising, but engaging customers. In a sense that a lot of customers actually use multiple channels to receive information, to receive anything on the web. And obviously we are the ones, we meaning the CPaaS industry, are the ones who are trying to actually expose a lot of channels that are there. And what is becoming very important now is actually this, the channels that are actually conversational. Before, you know, the CPaaS industry started with one-way channels like SMS, maybe email, even some kind of voice calls that are one way of advertising type of calls. However, now we, in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years, we have seen a huge growth in communication through WhatsApp, which is very much interesting because you actually can reply to that message. You can make a conversation with the brand. So this is something that we are trying to push now. You know, you have brand on one side, and on the other side, you have the customer, and this customer can actually have a normal conversation with the brand and can get some of the information or maybe some of the discounts or something from the brand that he wasn't able before. And now that you mentioned AI as well, if you build AI on top of it, then you're actually getting an agent who is communicating with the customer, who is the customers are communicating with the brand, but brand is actually enabled by the agent. So you can actually service millions and millions of customers and get the proper information in a proper time. So where are we now with this whole A2P and CPaaS ecosystem? I know that some of you thought maybe there is some kind of, I would say, understanding of the market that CPaaS market is maybe not growing so much as it should, that maybe it's stalling, that maybe there is some problem with it. And I guess if we compare some of the messaging volumes, if we compare SMS volume for some of the use cases, for some of the things that we have been servicing for the last 10 plus years, this is probably the case, this is probably true. Especially if we are talking about, let's say, one-time pins and similar technologies, which, you know, traditionally have been serviced by SMS, but now because of different reasons, pricing, reach, changes on the brand side, now these volumes are actually dropping, I would say. However, I think that this is probably the only use case that is actually, let's say, going down a little bit, especially if you're talking just about pure SMS. But if you're talking about everything else, and we have channels like RCS, we have WhatsApp, we have email, and let's say we have voice, which is very, very interesting channel that somebody would say that voice is, let's say, dying. Nobody's using normal voice anymore. If you want to call somebody, you will call through, I don't know, WhatsApp, you would use Viber or something similar to that, maybe Teams, Zoom. However, we have seen, especially in this AI space, that volumes on the AI side is actually, on the voice side, are actually doubling or tripling. This is a very interesting thing. And it's not just that they are doubling or tripling, it's that the quality of that voice tends to be higher, because for AI agents to understand what you are talking about and for you to understand what voice agent is talking, you need to have a high quality connection. So you need to have more minutes on a, let's say, higher rate because you are providing higher quality voice. So these are some things that have been changed quite recently in the last, let's say, maybe less than a year because of AI. And is AI resolution and, the savior of all these industries? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I think AI is definitely something that, impacts the industry, not just our industry, any industry. And as I said, as I've seen in the previous presentation, there is not a lot of proof that you actually can extract the huge amount of value out of it for now. I still see AI as a good tool, but you still need to have persons, people behind that who will use that tool in a proper way. So combination of intelligent people, creative people, and AI can actually make things quicker, can make a lot of delivery in a short period of time. Sometimes we maybe don't even need that, in a sense that if we have too much of that content, there is still people, there are still persons who on the other side who, they need to actually consume that content. And there are some limits on the human side, unfortunately. So I think it's still better that if we can just create something better, if we can create better content, if we can better target the people, but not to create it too much. Then we can probably get to some certain balance of that. So, as I said, it's very important to have some value, to create value. Volume is obviously there, and the whole industry, this whole CPaaS industry is usually, connected with the volumes. Volumes in a sense, millions of messages, millions of interactions. Now we are getting to certain millions of trillions of conversations. However, if this conversation, if this interaction are not something that actually brings some additional value, then it doesn't make much sense. So what we, as a company and as an industry as well, what we are trying to deliver is orchestration of all those channels. So when you are interacting and engaging some kind of customer, there needs to be a plethora of channels to be able to communicate with this customer in a way that this actually customer wants. So not everybody likes to use WhatsApp, not everybody wants to read on YouTube or, I don't know, even web. Everybody has their own preferences. So you need to have the possibility to connect to the customer through different channels and then store that into one data and have one data that can communicate and engage with those customers to the preferred channels. That's the best way to communicate, and that's the best way to get a conversion of that customer in some sense. What is also interesting, what I'm seeing with all this AI type of thing is that the companies that work in CPaaS space had a huge growth on the stock market in the recent months. So basically, most of the companies within this industry, some of the people sitting here have seen, growth from 30, 50, even 100% on their stock because of AI. I would say it's because of AI. Nobody knows. Maybe it's because of the war in Iran, but I doubt. I think it's probably because the AI has actually boosted the communication space in a way that some things are getting done faster, easier, and the content is created much faster and probably in a better way. So CPaaS industry has now, is tracking actually this, let's call it AI bubble. How long this will last, again, it's a good question. Because, if we are talking just about AI, AI will not resolve everything. We have seen a lot of investment there. If we are talking about the companies like, I don't know, OpenAI, Anthropic, even Google, Microsoft, Those guys, I read somewhere that for $5 invested in AI, they are getting $3 back. So they are in a pretty big minus on that. And the problem is that even the CEO of Anthropic said that if he doesn't do $1 trillion in revenue, I think in this year, I'm not sure, but I think it's this year, he will bankrupt. So those are very, very big and huge numbers. And I'm not sure who's going to actually cover this and pay this and extract some value out of it. Another problem with AI is that it's not, let's say, scalable as usual software/SaaS business. Why? Because for every token that you are burning in that business, you actually need to invest in hardware. You need to invest in power. You need to invest in some other resources. Currently, this leverage is negative. Negative in the sense that you are burning more tokens, but you are burning even more money to get those tokens. That will probably change. I'm pretty sure of that. However, currently we are in that stage. So my point is that we need to try to use this AI in a proper way and actually extract as much as possible value out of it, create something better for the customers, create something better for the brands, create some content, but maybe not too much of it, maybe, let's say, a bit more targeted. An interesting thing is this is something that it's a survey that we provide usually every year, let's say, few months, where we ask our customers and companies that interact with us if they can fill out the survey about the digital maturity index and CX maturity index. What does it mean? That actually means how much people are using customer experience, how much they are digitalized as a company. And if you can see the numbers, if you can read the numbers and comments on the numbers, there is a way to go. So there is I would say half of the companies here still are not digitally mature. And only after you are digitally mature, you have, let's say, proper databases, you have, let's say, some baseline, you have the infrastructure to which you can apply AI and build on top of that. So there are some steps to be done before that. You cannot just, engage with AI, now you are done. I mean, you can, but the results of that will not be as expected. So I guess the main thing is, we are all coming from, let's call it digital segment. We are coming from the new industry, from IT, from CPaaS, from advertising. And I guess these kind of companies are much more on this digitalization level. However, the normal industry is still not there. This is both a problem and opportunity for us. Problem because obviously, how can you build AI models if you actually don't have it digitalized? On the other side, obviously, there is space and market for us to grow. This is one of the comments I wanted to just show you, but Nick actually showed this on the first presentation as well, that the different types of channels are actually growing. I chose here RCS because RCS had a huge growth since 2024. We see this, obviously not in all the countries, unfortunately. Most of the numbers here are focused on, I would say, 10 plus markets or so. Main market is definitely US, where the biggest value is created. Maybe not the biggest amount of traffic, but definitely biggest amount of value. However, what I do see with RCS is that now we finally have a proper embedded channel, conversational channel, that you can use for engaging the brands, for support services, and of course, for building different AI agents on top of it. There are some other parts of, let's say, the telco business that are maybe untapped a little bit. Again, it can be used for security purposes, it can be used for authentication, but it can also be used for some kinds of engagement of the customers. And those are these very well-known network APIs. my personal opinion is that it is a little bit of a problematic product because what we have done with that is that we have a solution, just we don't have a problem to solve. That's the problem. And this is the issue with network APIs. And currently this problem, or let's say use cases, are still being invented. We don't have a killer use case still. However, I do see an opportunity for this kind of network APIs for, let's say, KYC type of use cases, which is, again, important for AI and for certain type of engagements. But interesting enough is that there is one very important thing here that has not been tapped yet. And this is, again, we are going to AI and the agents, basically security around them. How to authenticate the agents. So this is something, and I think this is the next big thing in our industry, because there will be more and more agents. All of these agents can be also bad actors. And you will definitely need a way to authenticate those agents before they actually start doing some problems on the field. So one of the ways how to do it is actually through network APIs, and I think that this industry, part of this industry will definitely be focused in securing the agents in a way that we actually interact only with the proper, legitimate, and authenticated agents. What Infobip is being doing in the AI, I saw that on the next presentation, the things that he mentioned for tomorrow, we're actually doing it today. We are creating content on the AI. We also have developed, that's one interesting thing, and this is actually a product that I personally would be selling on the market. And this product, what it does, it's again some kind of agent, or let's say group of agents, to put it better, where you put the name of the company that you want to interact with. This agent collects all the data available from different databases, web, etc., and creates some kind of summary of that company, extends to different key people from the company, gets the contacts of those people, then cross-connects this with the products that Infobip has, that we are actually providing on the market, connects those two, and then after that creates some kind of, let's say, cold email, which says, okay, dear, this and that, okay, these are the products that we can offer to you, of course, in a better way than I'm saying it now. Basically creates you the complete sales process for you. What you need to do is press send, after, of course, you're okay with this type of email. And of course, if this email is replied, then you can get a reply on that and different types of interaction for that. So basically, you have a full, I wouldn't call it CRM system, it's much more than just CRM. Done through, and this whole system is created through AI, of course. We use Anthropic, we use Claude, but it can be probably done through any other LLM. And this is something that we use for our internal purposes. So we are already there. Of course, you don't need to use email. You can use some other ways of communication. It's not just through email, but it's there and it's ready. We are not selling this product. I'm just saying that we are trying to be AI-first company, and I think that there is definitely a space for this kind of products on the market as well. So, just basically to conclude, AI is not part of CPaaS, but we need AI in CPaaS. AI also needs CPaaS because, as I said, we need to have communication channels because you can have any kind of content, but if you don't have a proper communication channel, then you will be in a problem. And also, AI helps CPaaS to grow. I mentioned before, there is a lot of already AI voice agents, which can speak in a natural voice. You almost don't understand that this is an AI bot behind it. And that actually helps because of the customer experience. You know, when you are calling some kind of support services and there is this nice music that repeats in your head and basically is killing you slowly. In this case, it doesn't happen. Why? Because you get the answer right away. On the other side is, of course, bot. It's AI agent. Maybe it cannot resolve all the problems that you might have. However, you can get a lot of information. We have tried this with few of our customers, and we have seen approximately 90 to 92% of closure of the tickets through this kind of agents, which means that only approximately less than 10% is left. Left meaning that it was transferred to a live agent. But even this live agent gets the assistance of the AI. Why? Because he gets all the information about you. He gets all the steps that have been done before actually getting the case to the live agent. And of course, all the potential remedies of that particular issue. So everything is there. The only, let's say, difference is that there will be a live person talking to the customer because, I don't know, sometimes people prefer that. So all this kind of stuff is important. And now we are getting to the infrastructure. As I mentioned before, currently the AI infrastructure is becoming very expensive. We are not into that space. I mean, we as a company and probably we as an industry. However, we are using that infrastructure. So this is part of it. But the other infrastructure here is channels, which include SMS, which include WhatsApp, which include RCS, and definitely voice. Voice is becoming more and more important, especially if you are talking about HD voice. Why HD voice? Because, as I said before, you need to have a clear voice, a clear, let's say, quality of the voice to be able to interact properly with the agents. Okay, that's about it. I tried to explain what is the situation and what is the interaction with AI and CPaaS, and why I do believe that CPaaS has a good future, especially if we integrate AI, if we start working with AI, if we create content with that, and if we connect with the companies, for example, like this one before. Why? Because they are actually the users of this service. We are the infrastructure there. So we definitely need to work together. I don't know, any questions maybe?
Any questions?
Yep.
Yeah, first of all,
Do you want me to grab that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
hi.
Is it on? Yeah. Hi, Gene Pardos, BTS. Thank you for, you really captured the whole scenario there. I did have a question about the impact of AI agents, okay? Because of customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? First question is, do you think companies should advise their customers that they are talking to a machine rather than a real person? And but more than that is, how do you see, the computer talking to computer, the human aspect out of the equation for that moment? How do you see that affecting that experience?
Well, let me try to answer this second question first. So if we are talking about agent-to-agent communication, this is going to happen for sure. I mean, I don't think it's still there, not at least not in big numbers, but this is going to happen for sure. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because I still think that I have in my work I have the assistant who is booking meetings for me and trips and travel and everything else. And I still like to talk to her and ask her, okay, I need this, I need that, and then she goes to me back and, is this okay? Is this, I don't know, timing okay? Is this lunch at that time fine? So all this kind of stuff. So I like to have this kind of conversation. And this agent-to-agent aims to go, okay, we will book and prepare everything for you, you just go. I don't know. I think it will take years and years for people to actually adapt to it. I don't think it's, let's say, I don't see it as a natural way of doing things. It might help. Even, let's say, my assistant can use this kind of agents to do that, but at some point there will be some kind of human interaction. So maybe it will be just a little bit easier than pure sending emails or calling to book someone. But there will be somebody, some human person in between, I would say, still, with a little bit more, let's say, power to do stuff. On the side, whether we should be telling that we are talking with the agent, I don't know, I mean, from my personal experience, people tend to hate that. You know, if you tell them that you are talking with the robot, they say, okay, remove the robot, I want to talk with a proper person. Because people do not expect that they will actually have a proper information from the robot. And that actually was the situation until maybe last year or so. Now you actually get, you know, we were talking about machine learning, AI stuff for 10 years almost. And, you know, people try to talk with the robots, chat with the robots, and you would always get, okay, sorry, but I cannot answer your question. I will connect you with a live person. That's and people, you know, get used to it that they cannot get a proper answer from the robot. Now I think the situation is a little bit different. Yep.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Sorry. Good morning. Excellent presentation. I think in one of your earlier slides you had a strapline at the bottom that said that the industry needs to move up the value chain. Mm-hmm. My question is the industry ready to move up the value chain? And if so, how does it do it?
Answer to that is, if you don't, you will lose. That's the whole. I mean, not you personally, but companies within the industry that don't move above the value chain, that stay on the number of minutes, number of SMSs, number of something. I'm not saying that they will die, but they will definitely not win. That's the problem. The companies that move up to the ladder, that create some value, that engage with, for example, AI in this case, that create some, let's say, value that is currently not there, they will definitely be able to win.
Thank you.
Any others? We've got time for one more.
Yeah.
There's one there.
What? Oh,
Susan's going to be keeping fit today.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the presentation. I have only one quick question. Why do you think the uptake of the RBM traffic is much lower in the rest of the world comparing to North America?
Oh, finally, some easy question. Because in North America, it works. There is a coverage, and they don't have a WhatsApp. I mean, they don't have, it's not very prominent. That's basically the case. In most of the parts of, other parts of the world, either WhatsApp is there, either we don't have a pure coverage on the RCS. That's the main reason.
Yeah, but in, for example, China, right now, the RCS traffic is enabled. Why you are not seeing that type of traffic in China comparing to United States?
Okay, so China is, to be completely honest, not my expertise. However, China was always been different, and they have this WeChat as a technology, and they have been using this WeChat for a long, long time before RCS. So I guess maybe just because people are used to use this kind of app, nothing else.
Thank you.
Any others? No? Well, thank you very much, Matija.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. Thank you.